Welcome everyone to Success Strategies for the 21st Century Entrepreneur. My name is Isa Tees, and it's pronounced Isa Tees. When my daughter was young, she always used to say, he's a tease, and most people call me E because it's a lot easier. I'll tell you what, being here with you today is such an honor. I'm very excited to share with you some very profound things that I have learned that I know will completely change your life. So stick with me because we're going to have quite the adventure together. Before I get too far into this, though, I want to tell you a little bit about the Ultimate Results Academy because it's a love and it's a passion of mine. I am a co-founder of the Ultimate Results Academy with my husband, Raphael. And what's exciting about it for me is that it's a global educational institution whose mission is to support and empower the 21st century entrepreneur in creating massive wealth in your life and in business. Our website is ultimateresultsacademy.com, and I'll tell you that we spend many hours and many days and many months and many years looking for new ways that we can support what's happening in our world today. As a 21st century entrepreneur, we are facing challenges that we didn't have 15, 20, 30, 50, or 100 years ago. Things are very, very different. We know that right now we have job scarcity. We know that the foreclosure rates are still incredibly high. We know that the lack of jobs is still tremendously large. We know there's so many people that are suffering in so many different ways. And that's part of what happens when our world transitions to a new level, if you will, to a new way of being. And we're in that transition. And in that transition, we are experiencing an unprecedented technological shift. Now, what's exciting about this is we have more tools and more goodies to play with and makes our lives in sometimes a really, really easy way. Other times when that technology goes awry, oh boy, do we throw a tantrum, or at least some of us do. And yet, for those of us that didn't really grow up with technology, like some of you who may be listening to this, we really have great respect for what it is that we have available because we didn't always have that. This technology is pretty amazing. I just did a talk over in Vegas just a short time ago, and we walked through one of the casinos where they have the all of the racing and the betting, and there must have been, I can't even tell you how many televisions and how many lines of data. It made CNN look like it was, not even there. It was just amazing the amount of data that is coming at us at every single turn. When we have this kind of data overload, what happens is we become pretty overwhelmed. At least most people do. Our minds are trying to sort out things, and it becomes quite stressful, actually. So when we're here in this 21st century entrepreneurialism thing, we have to do and we have to know and we have to be more than we ever have before. It's not like things have gotten less and we're just having to do the same amount of things. We're actually adding on to what it is we have done before. And this has caused a problem with our time management. That's a real challenge for most people. It means that we're having to multitask. Some people really don't want to multitask, but they don't know how to get what needs to be done in a day done if they're not doing more than one thing at a time. Have you ever experienced that? Do you know what it is that I'm experiencing myself and what it is that I'm saying here? You know what? These things cause me stress. I know that the people that I have worked with for many, many years and even currently are tremendously stressed because of what's happening in their lives and what's happening in this time of incredible transition. But let me tell you a little bit about today and what you're going to leave here with. You're going to understand how the world changes are really affecting you and your business. Now, we've already just talked a little bit about that, all the ways that we're feeling pretty inundated. And you know what happens when that occurs? We don't enjoy our family so much. We don't take time off to really literally smell the roses. What happens to vacation? It takes us 2 weeks to unwind to even be able to get to a place where we can find peace again. We go from paycheck to paycheck, or we're struggling to get things going on. That really creates a tremendous amount of stress. But what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how you will have a powerful 3-point system that is going to decrease the overwhelm in your life. It's going to increase the clarity. It will decrease the stress and increase the income in your business. So let me just say those again. Decrease the overwhelm. That sounds good, yeah? Increase the clarity. Crystal pristine clarity is going to create tremendous amount of comfort inside of you. And when you have that comfort, your stress goes down. And what happens when your stress goes down? Everything starts to move towards increasing income in your business. Why? Because everything is in the flow. And I am excited that we're going to have so much to share here with you. It's going to make a very big difference in your life. And guess what? I have a big surprise for you. I love surprises myself. So I've got something that I am going to gift you at the end of my talk here today. So stick with me here because I've got some other things that I want to share before we get to that big surprise. Some of you, you may know me. Some of you may not have a clue who I am. And so you may be saying, who is this Isa Teese? So let me give you a little bit about my story. I actually was born and raised in the Midwest, and I grew up on a farm, and I became very, very dedicated to taking care of my life in a way that I didn't exactly know what that really meant. I just knew that for me, security was important because I didn't feel very secure as a child. And therefore, I looked into medicine and I became a registered nurse. And then I went back to school to become a nationally certified nurse practitioner at UCSD and UCLA. And when I graduated from there, I was actually working with my father, who was a doctor. And I kind of have a tendency to do things like pretty darn intensely. And as a result, I became pretty burned out. And I didn't really know how to make peace within myself because I was there for everybody all the time. I was just trying to be everything I could be, and I wanted everybody to be happy, and I really got myself in a pickle. And so I decided that because I was pretty burned out, I needed to take a little break. So I decided that I would keep my license current and I would go off and do something with real estate. My mom sold real estate, and that seemed like a good place to go. So I decided that's where I was going to put my attention. Well, I had this big mission. I'm going to be a multi-million-dollar producer my first year in real estate. Well, that probably was a pretty good idea, except for me, I didn't realize that when interest rates are 18% and points were 17 and 18, that seemed like a pretty big deal. And the housing costs were much less than now, so that means you had to sell a lot of houses. But that didn't waver me. I'm just like, phew, I'm on it. I'm going to do this. And I was doing really well. And I was about 6 months into my event here of my mission. And I was really not very balanced. I have to tell you that I was all about the money. I was all about just being successful. I didn't have much of a relationship or a personal life going on, although I was married, but I didn't really have a lot of joy. I wasn't laughing. I wasn't really finding life to be what I thought it would be. And wouldn't you know it, halfway through my adventure, I had a very serious car accident. You see that car there on the right? That's what was left of my car when I went through a telephone pole, broke it in half. The whole car flipped over on its roof. The telephone pole landed on top of the car, and I ended up pretty darn damaged. I had a very serious compound fracture of my right femur, smashed all my sinuses, broke all my ribs. I was really a mess. I had to sleep upright in a hospital bed for 3 months and was in a wheelchair for a year. Guess what? I had some time to contemplate. I had some time to think about what's real. What's really important in life? I had to really think hard about where it is that I was and where it is that I wanted to go. I was being an entrepreneur at that point in my life, of sorts, but I was so out of balance I didn't know who was on first. And from that place, I decided that I had a mission, and my mission was going to be to help others really find balance in their life and really find what was important to them and then help them get to that place. And that's where the Ultimate Results Academy actually came into play, because we're all about results. We're all about the mission of life that's in your heart. It's about balancing the brain and the heart together. And so from that time frame, I came back slowly but surely, and I decided that I would go out into the world. And you see me there speaking. I became a master facilitator and a speaker, and I started doing seminars and retreats. Where you see that picture in the bottom, in the middle, there is one of the corporate retreats that we did. And over on the right, I was at a book signing. I've written a couple of books, and I was enjoying really sharing my story with people. And it really gave me an avenue of being able to really find what other people were looking for in their lives. And then I went on to have my own radio show. I hosted my own radio show for several years, and there I am in Chicago at WGN, and where I was being interviewed. And I really started really getting more into my personal life and my relationship. And this is my husband, Raphael, that you can see here as we are out in the country because we love the country. And then we have what we call our children. We have Kekosh and Tashawn there on the bottom left, and Kekosh is over here on the right. And we actually have a couple of more little children that I just ran out of room to put their pictures. But I'm learning about balance in my life. I really want to encourage you to be thinking about that for yourself. The bottom line for me is I am a life entrepreneur. I am a person who really knows what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to lose everything. I know what it's like to have to be in a place where struggle seemed like my middle name. I know what data overload is. I know what it's like to be in the place that you are probably in right this minute. And I found that I had to come up with some things that were important for me, and I created a personal code of commitment. I invite you to do this yourself, but my personal code of commitment to myself and to you on this day, is for you to receive radical results in your life, to have absolute joy, and to experience true freedom, financial freedom, a feeling of joy, a feeling of experience, of really, really living life. Life's for living. It's not for struggling. And I know that we can do that together. But I want to get back to that free gift that I spoke to you about. I have a free gift for you. This free gift is called Stop Struggling, Start Succeeding: Secrets of the 21st Century Entrepreneur. This is a 45-minute free audio training specifically for you, the 21st century entrepreneur, to help you break free and create massive results in your life, all areas of your life, I might add, and your business. To receive your free gift, all you have to do is go to your toolbar up there, open a new tab, and put in Stop Struggling, Start Succeeding.com. www.stopstrugglingstartsucceeding.com. Or if it's easier for you, you can just get out your phone and text the word START to 503-967-2567. It's right there on the screen. 503-967-2569. And don't forget to text the word START when you do that. And you will receive this amazing 45-minute free audio training. You're going to like it. It's going to give you tremendous ideas. I have a couple of questions for you. My question is, do you feel overwhelmed like I was speaking about in your personal life or your business? Do you ever feel like time is moving faster and faster and you can't really keep up with it? Do you feel like you're working harder and harder with little or no results? Have you thought, gosh, if I just had a recipe or a system to follow, I could accomplish more. I know then I would have less stress and I could then be more productive. Have you ever thought that? Well, I know that I have. I know that these are things that have gone through my mind. And as an entrepreneur, as somebody who really wants to have a life that works, I've mulled over this a lot. And because of that, I've come up with something that has worked for me that I want to share with you. And it's a simple 3-step PAR system. The PAR system is made up of passion, action, and results. So let's go into each one of these a little bit more closely. Passion. Passion is very, very important. What is it that really lights you up? Now, right now, you might be in a position where you're in survival. Maybe you can't even think about being passionate. Maybe you're thinking about, how am I going to pay the bills? That's where my passion is. I just want to get out of the stress of struggle of monetary issues. But underneath that, what's there? What really would you do if you had more money than you could spend or give away? What would you do when you woke up in the morning? What is it that really, really excites you? Having passion and being clear about that is extremely important, because if you're going to make change in your life and you're going to have what it is that you say you want, then you have to have a passionate clarity about where you are and what it is that's important to you. And if money is the most important to you right now, then great, write that down. I want you to be taking some notes here. Write down what it is that you feel passionate about. And it doesn't have to be just one thing. We're just going to touch the surface of the things that are available for you to become really, really successful as a 21st century entrepreneur. But let's start with some things that are really critical. Passion. What is it that you would love to do? And maybe you're already doing that. So what would the passion then be to take it to the next level? Write down what it is that's going on in your head right now. Just take a moment and take some notes. So the next part of this is action. If you're clear about what it is that you want, you're going to have an action plan. So let's say that you are currently working for Macy's, and you don't really have a lot of passion for that, but what you really have passion for is being an underwater photographer. Okay, you got some clarity about that. So you're going to have to go and create for yourself an action plan about that. So what do you do? And I'm just going to skim through these because of our time constraints today. But what I'd like you to do is be thinking about what it is, the overall system here: passion, action, results. So you've got your job, you're making your money, but it's not really where your heart is. And let's say you're not making enough money to really get what it is that you want. You then are going to have an action plan to create the changes that are necessary. So you start to study your underwater photography. You start looking into what it's going to take for you to be able to do that more often, even as a profession. You look at what the costs are. You look at where it is that you can do that. You start looking at what you can do today, right now, not down the road, a week, a month, a year. What can you do right here today? What are you willing to make an agreement to yourself with that you're going to do that's going to make that change and move you in the direction of what it is you said you wanted? At least pick one action step right this minute. Take a moment and do that. And for some of you, you might need a little more time to get this clear. That's okay. You're going to have time to do that. So the third step in this is results. The results are going to come because you're clear about what it is you're passionate about. You have a plan of action and an action plan that is going to keep you going no matter what. The results are going to come because you are committed to following through no matter what it takes. Results come when you have a reason to do what it is that you say you want to do. Results come when you keep going when the going gets tough. Results come when you won't let anything get in the way of what it is you said you were committed to. Results come when you, hell or high water, will keep on trucking even when it's hard. And you will use that why, that passion that you started with, why you even want to do it to begin with, to drive you. It's the fire, it's the engine, fuel that will keep you going when it's tough. And because, for me, I've had one or two things that I think have, been kind of hard. I've had a few things that weren't the easiest. Well, what did I do with that? I found that the glass was half full. I found that if I kept on going, even when it seemed difficult, sometimes it felt life-threatening. I found that when I just kept my face to the sun, which is a term I like to use, even when it was hard, And let me tell you, sometimes it was really hard. It was really hard to keep going because I thought I was going to lose everything, including my ability to walk again or to run. I was a runner at the time I had my accident. I really was faced with a tremendous amount of struggle through my relationship, through my money, through my health, through my daughter. Everything was at stake. It took that for me to get to a point where I got clear about my passion. I got clear about what I needed to do. I got clear about the results that I wanted. And guess what? When I had these three steps in order, I did make multi-million-dollar producer. In fact, I was the third highest producer in the company, Coldwell Banker. I did it, and I did it because I followed this system. And I have many people that have followed this system. It works, people. It works. You have to use it. You have to be committed to it, and you have to follow through with it. But this is going to be something that will change you forever. I have so few moments to really, really get into this with you. But what I want you to know is that when you are really following through with what it is that you say you want, and you really follow the plan, and you really experience the results, you will find that every single thing that you do from that moment forward will be easier and easier. This system can be used over and over for many, many things. So let me just take a moment or two and go back through this because I zipped through it kind of fast, and I want to take just a couple of extra moments to really be with each one of these steps more succinctly. Passion. The passion is what you would wake up in the morning and say, oh my gosh, I am so excited to be alive today. I love my life. Do you say that when you wake up right now? If you don't, I recommend that you say it anyway because it's a good affirmation and it's a great way to start your day. So when you recognize that you're getting up and you're saying, this is what I'm really committed to do, this is what I really love doing, then everything changes. Your physical neurology, your absolute physiology, your neurotransmitters, every single part of your body system changes when you feel the excitement for living. I cannot overemphasize the necessity and the importance of you finding what it is that you're passionate about. And if you're sitting there thinking, gosh, I'm not passionate about anything, I guarantee you it's because you have too much on your plate, too much, too overwhelming. And that's part of what it is that's important for you to recognize. It's some things have to be cleared. You're going to need to make a list of everything you have on your plate and then prioritize it. And look at what it is that's really important. Is it really critical that you spend a half an hour on Facebook every day? Is it really critical that you spend an hour and a half doing email? Is it really critical that you chat with somebody about how your life isn't working? Think about your time management. Think about where you're using your energy. And when you get clear about that and you start clearing your plate, you're going to uncover that there is really a passion in there for something that's exciting. You probably just didn't know that you had the ability to get it. You probably didn't know that there's a way for you to get it. And that's what that action plan will do. So you now know your passion. You're writing down the action step by step. What is it that you're going to do? Whether it's learning about the equipment you need to be that underwater photographer, the cost of what it is, where do you live, what specific parts of underwater photography do you want to do? Really live it, visualize it, become what it is that you're saying that you wanted. And you will find that as you stay steadfast for this, that the results are going to come forward like a freight train coming down the track. You're going to find amazing experiences. And guess what? I have many things that can help you with what it is that I'm speaking about. The Ultimate Results Academy invites you and encourages you and has products that can help you take you very succinctly to what it is. This is just really touching the surface of what's available for you. And that free gift that I spoke about, Stop Struggling, Start Succeeding, This is a 45-minute free audio training specifically for you to break free and create massive results in your life. It's more detailed than what it is that we've gone through here today. It's going to give you even more clarity about how to proceed. Remember, go to www.stopstrugglingstartsucceeding.com or text the word START to 503-967-2569. When you take the next step and take advantage of this free gift, you're going to be introduced to parts of yourself that perhaps you have never discovered before. This is your day. This is your moment. This is your life. You are the most powerful being on the planet right here, right now. It's all inside of you. You now have tools in front of you. You now have the ingredients that you need to take those next steps. And these next steps will lead you to the next steps and then the next steps. And I am very excited, and I am holding that you and I will get to join hands, lock arms, and go down this path of discovery, down this path of finding your passion, creating your action, moving into results, and making your life be more awesome than you could ever dream or imagine. Because here at the Ultimate Results Academy, great things are happening. They are absolutely happening. So get to your free gift right now and start creating the life that you have always dreamed of having, and know that an extraordinary life is in front of you. And I would love to meet you, to connect with you, and let's go on a journey to greater depth and more success than you've ever imagined right now. Look forward to hearing from you. Get your free gift right now, and we'll connect very, very soon.